right, we are welcome back to Cut Through the Noise. We are going to discuss all things AI. What we talking about today, Shell?
So Jessica, we're gonna go. This is more so like for you, but I see you trying to pass this to me, so we're gonna keep this going. We're gonna keep it moving. So pretty much, I see what
we call each other out. That's why you can trust us.
That's okay.
We call each other out in our own nonsense.
Cause period.
No, demystifying AI. So what AI actually is. So, since we've had computers since the 1940s, there has been AI. All AI is teaching a computer, a machine, a device how to act like a human, how to do something humans would do. So what are things humans do that we can have AI do, right? An easy example is like math, like your calculator, right? Mm-hmm. You used to calculate with your fingers, you used to calculate using an abacus. Now you can calculate using a calculator because the calculator calculates. It's something humans would do. We talk about obviously like writing. Well, how is it able to write? How is ChatGPT and all these programs able to write? It's read a lot of our writing, right? You feed in the rules. So you take someone like Moy, a linguist, and you have a linguist or a few dozen linguists, come across like what are the standards of language and written English, That's why you have NLP, natural language processing, right? That's the thing that we can have. We can just talk in natural language in the way we talk to the devices to get the things, right? So how does it know how to write? Well, the person who programmed it, who coded it using the coding language, usually Python. Okay. For those who care. I don't really, but
is that considered? So would they consider that as AI-ish?
Well,
Python.
It's just a language.
Okay.
It's literally just a language. Okay. It's just a way that humans have created a language that the human and the computer can both use to talk. Okay. But in that language. Okay. Right, and then what they've done is created another way where you train the AI using that language, coding language, on how to understand human language. Okay. And then so you teach it the rules, the grammar, the vocabulary, the common phrasing. And you just feed it maybe millions of books and blog posts and articles and texts and social media content and social media comments and social media captions. You feed it emails. You feed it correspondences in writing or even in speech. Okay. But maybe you take a transcript so it can tell the difference between people speaking and people writing. That's why you can tell it a tone of voice. Right? Okay. So if you say, describe the itsy bitsy little spider, in like you're 4 years old. That's how it can do that because you've shown it how 4-year-olds talk. So it can actually do that. You tell it, okay, explain it like you were born in 1950. It knows how people in 1950 spoke. Now, not every single program does that. That's what makes some programs better than others.
Like what programs?
Like, so if you hear the term LLM, language models, right? That's what we're talking about right now. Like, how can it make writing? That's a language model. And then, so you have LM is language model. Then you have LLM, which is large language model. You also have SLM, small language model. MLM, medium language model, or another way to buy, makeup. You have VLLM, very large language model, right? That was vision. There's also vision. Oh, okay. VLM as in vision language model. I've seen like XLM as in the same XLM, extra large language model, to not get confused with the VLM. Okay. Very large language model or vision language model, right? Vision large language model. See how I'm getting a little confused?
It sounds like a set of clothing because like extra large, small, medium. Like so the idea going on.
So like, why would you want to use one over the other two? So for example, if you're making a video game. So actually, this is a really cool thing that they're creating NPCs that have AI powering them. Okay. So if you game, maybe, some games might be like 5 gigabytes of space. So you don't really want to put a LLM in that because then that'll make it a 20 gigabyte game. Just to put the LLM in there, it's kind of unnecessary. So if you have pretty simplistic rules for the video game, for example, pretty simplistic rules, reasonably simple kind of wording and phrasing are going to use, right? So you don't have to train it on newspapers, right? Okay. You don't got to train it on blog posts, social media posts. You don't have to train it on that because it is it is just doing a video game.
Mm-hmm.
So it doesn't need to know all that other stuff.
Okay.
That's how you can shrink the size of the data set.
Okay.
And that's how you can have a SLM, a small language model in your video game.
Okay.
And then the value you get is having, NPCs that can talk to you and answer questions, and it's not reading off of a frozen script.
Mm-hmm.
So that's like the idea. So when you talk about AI, that's why we say filters, like the Instagram color coding filters, right? Mm-hmm. Because this video, for those who are watching on video, this is I individually, Shell, you can see the settings right here. Like I individually, manually, you could say adjust each setting as far as saturation, brightness, the tinting, the color balance, right? The white balancing. But then you could just, if there's certain ways you commonly might like your images or your videos to look, that's how you just create a filter. Okay. And the filter is just also, like, for those who are in a marketing space, there's presets. Is another idea, right? Presets for like Lightroom or for Photoshop presets, right? You understand, you have a bit of a graphic art background. So when you're doing that, now humans made those, but if you're asking an AI to do that for you, or to automatic filtering to go in, that's basically a lot of Photoshop and Adobe products already have been and were AI. The reason why it's new is because you can talk to it with natural language. Okay, bro. That's what everybody kind of in their little, that's what everybody kind of in like a little circle, like a little like tied up, like, oh my God, what's really going to go happen? Like, oh my God, AI is taking over. It's just because you can talk to it. Relax. It's always had the ability to set off all the nuclear codes and the bombs of the planet to oblivion. We just have chosen not to do that, and it doesn't want to do that. And, all the things you're worried about AI could do, it already has been able to do. I'm sorry to say it like that, but it's not meant to give you gloom and doom. It's going to give you understanding that if it's always been able to do that and it hasn't done it yet, you see what I'm saying? Because humans are going to human.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like I said that last week. Like, humans are going to human.
Yes, humans are going to human.
Humans are going to human. So like that's nothing new when you're talking about with AI, right? Like I think a common misconception is, again, AI is coming for our jobs. AI is coming for us. AI, everything's going to be done by AI. Your job. We're going to be replaced. We're going to be replaced.
Yes, but not knowing, like, they're just adding it to it so you can learn about it, so it can help you better at your job, or like take a load off of what you're doing. Like,
there's just nuances that, like, as someone who's, who did a little moot court when I was an undergrad, right? So you're not going to replace an attorney with a bot all the way. No. Can it write some pretty great documents? Yes. Can it save attorneys tens of hours of time, hundreds of hours even of time on actually doing the drafting and the researching? Yes. Is it going to replace a paralegal? No. Unless that paralegal was really bad at their job. I mean, I feel like it needs to be said. It's funny because I've spoken to some employers that actually like want to fire people. Paralegal? Yeah, no. Paralegal was supposed to put as a medical practitioner. He had a medical practice. And he kind of wants to automate out his receptionists and get rid of them altogether. I'm like, that's just not a bad idea. It's like, that's a bad idea. And like, dude, that's a bad idea. Like,
because you still need them. Like, AI is not going to be able to fix everything. It clearly states AI can make mistakes
all the time.
It can make mistakes.
You do not want to do that.
To have
do not do that.
A human specimen.
Dude, we're not
right on the other side of that phone call.
We're not going to do that.
Even on the cell phone, when they be like, hey, it's an AI generated message. I need to talk to a representative. Hit 0. Press 0.
And there's actually a company. Now the name is losing me right now because it's in like my sea of newsletters. There's a company that did a hiring freeze because of AI. Like a few companies have done that where they're just not going to hire anybody new. And I actually recommend that as your tactic over like instantly firing people. It's just like, hear me out. So the reason why is because they did use AI to replace their call center. And then after doing that for a year, they realized like, actually, yeah, we still need those people there.
Mama said stupid is.
I mean, I don't think it's entirely, here's the thing. They just had a hiring freeze. They didn't fire anybody. So they were still able to grow their company.
Still need people. Like,
well, they didn't get rid of anybody. That's what I'm trying to tell people. Don't get rid of people, right? It's better to do a 6-month hiring freeze as we implement AI, because let's say you are, for example, speaking to an immigration attorney who's like wants to grow his business, of course, right? He's only him and like 2 other attorneys. It's just 3 attorneys. He has like 12 staff total.
Okay.
Right? All these different assistants, paralegals,
For
people
sure.
in the office doing work. And
For
then
sure.
obviously marketing operations, that kind of stuff.
Mhm.
Great. Here's what we can do. Let's implement AI. Let's implement the chatbot. Let's implement the this, the that, the this, the that. Let's get the processes together. We're probably going to increase capacity for your entire team.
Okay.
Because you don't need someone to actually schedule things the same way. Okay. You can have, instead of each attorney having an executive assistant whose primary function is scheduling, right? Since the AI is doing that person's job is to check what the AI is scheduled, to make sure nobody's double booked, to move appointments, on occasion, to make sure that the automations are coming out, make sure that people are getting the call, the text, and things. So for me, like if you do a one-on-one with me, like if you're supposed to go on my calendar, I only ever had one no-show, and you were there for that. Remember the guy last week who didn't show up?
Yeah,
one no-show ever, and if I've done one-on-one, I've done 100. I'm not even exaggerating. You see my calendar. I've done so many one-to-ones. Never he will miss. Why? They get email a day in advance. They get a text and an email an hour in advance. It's really hard for you to know. And how? I set up like 5 clicks in Calendly to get that set up. So I used to work in restaurants. Never shy to tell anybody. I did everything front of house, right? From busing to bartending to hosting, right? Food running and of course being a server and all that kind of stuff. And what I can tell you is, like, as a host, a decent part of my job is calling to confirm reservations. If we got bots who are sending those text messages, who are sending those emails, who are doing that for us, then I might just, because some of them are saying like, hey, text back, right? Like text yes.
They're actually doing that now with Open Table and everything.
I get that Open Table. I've done that, right? I've gotten that Open Table. Hey, text back, make sure you can confirm. So then if someone doesn't confirm, then you call. So instead of me spending hours because here's the thing, it takes time to do that. And then people call back and you got to go through your voicemails. If I can reduce the amount of calls I have to do in a shift, especially like even if you're working like Wednesday, I used to work I work Wednesdays at the spot. I would usually have to call ahead for Thursday, Friday, but I couldn't go as far as Saturday because too many days in advance. Well, now, if that Open Table is doing that for me, then I only have 2 or 3 calls a day to confirm to people who didn't confirm, who didn't respond to the email, didn't respond to the text. So it gives me more time to do other things. What other things? I mean, it depends on the restaurant. Whether it's that restaurant, it was wiping down menus, stuffing the menus from the new one, checking.
Getting the forks and stuff together.
Little cleanups. I could start. I could help take over maybe something from the manager's job that helps us, like the beautification, watering plant. I mean, you might seem like so basic, like why do you need to do that? Because someone has to water the freaking plants.
The little things matter. The little things matter. That's just like you saying, oh well, why you need to clean up this? Why do I need to clean up my room if ain't nobody coming in there? Baby,
that's nasty.
Clean up your room.
Clean up your room.
Clean up your room.
Clean up your room.
That's all you need to do.
And
it's the little things. Like, get it out the way.
Hire somebody else who's good at the job to do it. But like, if those who are watching, like this is my home here in the background. I keep it clean. I also keep it just clean enough that I don't gotta spend hours a day, hours a weekend. And maybe I'm not like other black people. I didn't grow up with the ritual, the Saturday, Sunday morning ritual of cleaning.
That's me, baby.
I didn't grow up with that. We cleaned, but there wasn't no Saturday, wake up early morning with the gospel music. Yes, no, ma'am. We didn't do that in my house. We just cleaned up the house.
No,
it was just keep the house clean.
For sure.
It was clean. Keep the house clean.
Get the house. Get the house going. The rest of the day is yours.
Why should I have to spend a day of the week on this? You should be doing it every day.
No, for sure. But Saturday mornings is more it's deep cleaning. Saturdays is for deep cleaning.
Call me whatever you want to call me.
Every day you could pick up little knickknacks and stuff. But Saturday you gotta have.
We didn't do that.
Your house need to be.
Now we had like
smelling like
our
pneumonia,
top of the month rituals. Ew.
Like
we had our top of the month rituals.
The Clorox, the bleach,
the
everything.
Deep clean. But that's where the AI again comes in, because like maybe that's a reminder, right? So even thinking about like for the lonely housewife or the hardworking housewife, right? Sometimes it could just be there to help remind you of things, to give you suggestions. You can take this out, use your VLLMs, your vision language models to pull out your phone and like, how do I get this stain now? And it'll show you and teach you. So it's a lot of just asking it to do basic stuff that you could do. And again, from a business standpoint, it cracks me up when I hear a company tell me. I've heard like two different people who run businesses tell me, oh, we don't need AI. I'm sorry. Are you operating at 100% efficiency at all times?
Of course not.
And you have no backlogs? No one has a to-do list that goes from one day to the next? Of course not. Every task is being done within the shortest amount of time humanly possible? You're 100% certain of that? Of course not. And while we're at it, you don't need more money?
Of course they do. Everybody needs.
You don't want more customers? You don't want more contracts with the government? You don't want more money? You don't want to sell more stuff? You don't have inventory that might have been sitting there for a couple weeks?
That's the misconception.
Well, I'm a plumber. What do I need AI for? You don't do marketing?
I mean, it definitely could help you. Different, what's that? Canvas doing it now, where they help you with your image generator. You can finesse your logo a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Finesse your flyers.
I'm more like you don't got no. I mean, I'm a plumber. What do I need a newsletter for? Ain't nothing happening in the world of plumbing right now. Did you have a success story of the week?
I mean, they're doing stuff with the whole the materials, so I
right.
think that's something
new pipe material. Well, here's what's happening in the industry. Mm-hmm. Here's what's happening in the laws.
And honestly,
here's what's happening in the trades.
Not a lot of people have I feel like plumbing. Like when it comes to the mechanic side, not a lot of people have newsletters for stuff like that. They don't have flyers. They don't really market stuff like that. And it's like
you don't need more money.
You do need to
you need an online presence. How are you ranking on search? Remember we were watching that thing yesterday. The other day, Neil Patel did a great thing about the future of SEO. SEO is no longer search engine optimization. SEO is search everything optimization. And I need you guys to see that. I need you to see that you need to make sure that your presence is as much wide digitally as possible. Mm-hmm. That's why we're doing this podcast in full transparency. I'm brilliant at what I do, but if you Google me and not enough if you Google my company and not enough is popping up, I mean to have more content pop up, literally just for the sake of being there. So when you clear out your team's backlog, when you do your efficiency, when you actually implement these tools, and then you realize, okay, Judy, my receptionist, now only really needs to spend 20 minutes a day on emails and 30 minutes a day on callbacks when that used to take 4 hours of her time. And aside from, opening the door, right? I had a job like that where I literally just had to open the door and people came by because there was a buzzer. So aside from opening the door, what else can I have her do? Well, if everybody is doing everything at their highest level, because now we've got AI everywhere and there's more or less an empty space. First of all, again, swing by HR, see what HR needs, see if there's anything we can benefit them with. See if there's...
think that's the down. Nobody, I feel like people are looking at that oh, you're stepping on my toes, or you're coming in and trying to do my job. But it's no, if you need some help with something that I can take a load off, that I've already used AI and I've done my job, or it's done it for me. Why can't I help you? What's going on? Why can't I help? I'm not here to take your job. I'm here to help you.
We work
for the same company.
That's what I was telling this one brother that, and I was suggesting to him, I was like, listen, you got 5 receptionists. You could probably cut down to 3. Yes. So what I do with the other 2? You send them to HR. Do you have 2 job openings in your business? I bet you do. I bet you got more than 2. He's like, yeah, I do, but they're for professional things, because he's medical field, right? So I can't turn my receptionist into a nurse. Why not? Ask her. Ask your receptionist. What if she wants to be a nurse? Wouldn't it be better for you to send her to a nursing program? Or get a certificate along the way.
I think that's just the bosses just being lazy and not trying to actually see the potential that you have in the humans. And I think that's when everybody's
that's the real
AI is coming. No, it's the human. You're not trying to see the potential. You hired me because you saw potential in me doing one job, and since then I've shown you I can do X, Y, Z. That I ain't never done before.
Right.
So now, why not say, hey, do you want to become a nurse? What do you think about this? What do you think about that?
Physical therapist?
I could take you to school. We'll pay for it. Why would you not?
It costs less money to train. If it costs you $30,000 to train that person, and you still keep them on your payroll for $50,000 a year, it costs a lot less money to do that than to go hire a new person.
A new person who's going to ask for way more money
you
than
pay them $100,000 a year.
Yes, like
and then you gotta. Then you also have to set aside your HR people to go do the training or to go do the recruiting. Then they gotta go interview with the management team, and that's billable hours from all those people.
You gotta pay for. Like, it's so much. Like,
and then watch them get a second job anyway. They took another offer and quit after 2 weeks.
They do that all the time in the government, honey.
And they should. Don't get wrong. You gotta look out for you. Look out for number one.
For sure.
But understand from a business standpoint, before you hire new people, especially before you fire people,
ask your people, see what they can like.
My next thought too was like, listen, if you got Bev in reception and she now has nothing to do, tell her, Bev, you got 6 weeks. I'm gonna give you 6 weeks to figure it out. So go on over to HR or go walk around, talk to your coworkers, figure out what you're about to do. Now, Bev has 3 choices. Bev can quit now. Bev can quit now. Bev can just decide to spend her time looking for a new job.
And I'm out.
She can sit on it. She can sit on her computer and be on LinkedIn and Indeed looking for her next job because she don't want to do all that. She got choice 2. She can go talk to HR, talk to the colleagues, ask around, find something to do. Or 3, Bev can sit in the break room and do Sudoku all day. Now, here's the bit of beauty of it. If you sit and watch and wait, do you have the patience to wait 6 weeks to watch and see what she's going to do? 6 weeks, because that's enough. It is enough time. It is. It's plenty enough time for someone to interview HR, spend a week or 2 in this department. I don't like it. Spend a week or 2 in that department. I don't like it. Spend a week or 2 here. I like it. Then I'm going to go get trained, right? So that's enough time to do that. But if that woman spends 6 weeks twiddling her thumbs and playing Sudoku on the clock, do you think either you or your team members are going to feel any kind of way about her getting fired? Because here's the real thing about people. The best people quit first.
Yes.
People who actually know their worth, who are of high value, genuinely in the marketplace, who have excellent skills that people want, they're the first ones who are going to quit. And I don't want them to quit. I want them to stay in your business. But here's the thing. So if they see the moment you automate anything with reception, you fire 2 receptionists, they know they're next. Even if they weren't next, they're going to think they're next and they're going to quit.
They're going to get up out of here before you can try to make the decision for them. And then the crazy thing is like, well, no, we didn't want you to go. I didn't know what you was doing.
Because you
ain't saying nothing, baby. I didn't know what you was doing. So I made the decision myself. And I got to go.
And they got
to go. Y'all doing too much funny business going on. And they don't do funny business.
That's why, you gotta be careful. So that's why when you start, yes, with the policies, you talk to your team, you discuss things with them, but also start using the tools, let them use them, let them see how the tools are helping them do their own jobs. And then let them see that when people's jobs get automated out, you literally do nothing. Let them see that. Let them see it. Let them watch in real time. Let them watch in real time how you gave those people a chance and they did nothing. Because whose fault is that? It's theirs. And if you can already afford to have these people there, then you can afford to keep them around for a little while, can't you?
Then was long as fuck.
No, because it's like, people be all like, oh, but I got bloat. Are you going under right now? No. Do you still have reserves? Yeah. So what's going on? My margins aren't what they should be. Okay, but I mean, just to be honest, it means like you can run this way for 2 more months though, right? Yeah. Okay. So, invest a couple bucks with me. Invest in these tools right quick. Let me highlight you. Invest these tools right quick.
Let's get you going.
And then if you got 2 or 3 people who are doing nothing, let them. Because first of all, most people who are smart are going to watch that they just got their job automated away and now they have nothing to do. Again, a smart person is going to take option 1 or 2. Smart person is either going to go look for a next job and dip, or more importantly, they're going to try to stay where they are. They're going to evaluate themselves. They're going to say, how much do I like this job?
Yeah.
Would I rather work closer to home? Would I rather work from home? Do I need more insurance?
Is this job worth it? Like, that's the number one. Is this really worth it? Like,
you might find out that Bev actually hated the commute.
She just
And she really would rather work at the Waffle House up the street. She don't mind. She used to be a cook back in the day.
Like, she loves to cook. It's
okay. So then she'll quit on her own. And then you could tell everybody what happened to Bev. Oh, she quit. Wait, what? Yeah, Bev quit. Hold up. So you replaced her with the AI. Mm-hmm. And she stayed for 2 more weeks.
And she ended up quitting.
And she quit.
Just to go to Waffle House.
So go work Waffle House. Mm-hmm. Word? Yeah. Bev's only 5 years from retirement. All she had to do was make a couple $1,000 a month and not dip into retirement funds. So she decided just to go
somewhere else where she ain't got to worry about too much. She ain't got to worry about no AI. She don't need AI.
AI ain't coming for the Waffle House. Not the chef. I don't think AI can fight.
Okay, listen, you gotta learn how to fight, baby. Them bots ain't ready. Them bots is not ready, baby. Waffle House.
You see the one who like claps the chair when they threw the chair at the girl and she just whoom, just grabbed the chair.
I'm trying to figure what's wrong with people. Waffle House is not for the weak, baby. It's not for the weak. It's not for the weak.
But as I'm saying, like trust me when I say every single company could use it though, because I'm sure I could help out Waffle House quite a bit. It won't be obviously with freaking ordering. Is going to be somewhere the hell else. It's going to be like probably at the corporate level, right? Mm-hmm. And again, inventory, predicting which store to open next, mm-hmm. and predicting that kind of stuff. Like, relax, you guys. Like, y'all ain't going nowhere. So and that's actually a good point too. So like, what else can it do? People, I see it on chat. It talks. It writes. I don't need, I don't write a whole lot. I don't need to write my email. Okay. Again, like, well, do you need data analysis? Do you ever write reports? Do you submit reports? If you have a business, you should be writing reports, mm-hmm. and therefore submitting them. I do nothing else for your books. Like, what are you doing? So you don't think AI can help you there? Again, like,
is there certain like programs that people can use or softwares that people can use for AI to like help with the data analysis, or is that any kind?
You'd be surprised. I think it's the level of data analysis you're looking for.
Okay.
So are you like, QuickBooks can print a report. QuickBooks can generate reports. That is literally AI in the exact same way, right? Okay. That by the most rudimentary definition, right, of asking a machine to do things that people can do, that's AI. Mm-hmm. So you have that, mm-hmm. but like, you can go into Canva, you can go into Gamma and submit, your numbers, and it'll make a visual little report for you and mm-hmm. even animate that for you. Like, anyone can do that. Anyone can go to Canva for free. Anyone can go to gamma.app for free and use it to do those kinds of things, right? Okay. So what are you looking for? Like, how are you trying to do data visualization? Are you trying to, create images, create video, edit video? Like for this, we're filming this on the device that you can do scripts, descript, and things like programs like that to help analyze your data.
Is there a certain type of way to write it? Like prompt? Well, not saying with QuickBooks. I don't think you need to have a prompt for QuickBooks. But like other like softwares that people are coming out with, mm-hmm. is there a certain way to like prompt it to get it the correct data? Like, how would they have to get that in there?
It's all about obviously the program that you're using. So if you're using a program like Gamma, you would my suggestion is just to submit the sheet. Submit the sheet that has the data in. Right, obviously. So that could be something like having maybe a large language model review your data, produce a report, take that report and put it in the next program to do something that creates the visuals. Are there programs that can do all of that? Yes. Right. But the reason why I don't recommend certain ones is not just because you're not sponsoring me, but also because, no, let's be honest, because your needs is not going to be the same
as somebody else's,
and also your device. So I was talking about that with a gentleman. He wants me to do media work for him. Right. Go through literally 1,000 videos, review them, categorize them, tag them, pull clips, pull quotes.